7:03, we'll call the meeting to order. So welcome.
I'm back.
Oh, excellent. So, meeting got called to order at 7:03. That's the only action we've taken.
Okay.
The first would be the review and approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Any comments, thoughts?
Yeah, I was at that meeting. I'm not listed.
Okay. Is that Cindy?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's Cindy. And Brad, were you at the meeting last month? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
She's listed.
I had similar issues with being muted at first.
Okay.
Why was I not listed on the minutes?
No, you are listed on the
No,
minute.
Okay.
I was just kind of confirming the opposite.
Got it.
All right. So any other comments? I guess for me, the only other comment that I'd have is more formatting and making sure, and I should have provided this feedback earlier, paragraphs are not underlined, things like that.
Yeah,
That's
that
it.
was, if you don't, excuse me, if you don't put enough space between the heading and the paragraph, it automatically underlines the entire paragraph. So that was on me,
Okay.
because Dave sends me his notes and then I take them from what he sends and put them into this Provox format, and I missed that.
Okay. That's fine. All right. Any other comments? Mr. Wells, Mayor Granatowski. No. Can I get a motion, therefore, to approve the minutes?
So moved.
And a second? Brad, it's only you.
Second. Was that Cindy? That
Yeah, it's gonna be
moved?
Cindy and Brad, or Brad and Cindy is how this is gonna go tonight.
Okay.
Favor?
So really quickly, the attendance then is Margaret, Mark, myself, and Cindy?
Eric Morrison?
And Todd.
Goodhue?
Yep.
Gary Wells?
All
And Mayor Granatowski.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay.
Okay. So all those in favor of approving the minutes? Aye.
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 Yep. Opposed? Nobody left. Minutes accepted. Next topic tonight is citizens' petitions and comments.
Well, just to let folks know, and Todd, you may be able to provide a little bit more information, but we received a notice from an attorney representing a golfer that played in earlier this season, I don't remember exactly when, who has made claims that he was hit by a golf cart driven by one of the rangers. And he did report the incident back when it occurred, and Todd provided him with the information, the form that needed to be filled out, and we didn't hear back from him until we heard from the attorney. I think we received a letter maybe 3 weeks ago.
Right. Yeah, yeah, that was a curious situation. There were a lot of carts that were coming in at close of play,
Mhm.
And this young man said that one of my guys, well, he was about to move a cart to go ahead and put it in line, and the
Who, the
gentleman,
player or the ranger?
no, one of my guys, the
Ranger.
player forgot something in the basket in the back. And so he went to the back to go ahead and get something out of his basket. He had already taken his clubs off the cart. And so he went into the back, and then just as my guy was backing up, he says it pushed him down to the ground. And so he called me the next day and he told me this. And I said, well, come on in and I'll give you the form that you have to fill out and you know, and we'll start the process. And so an hour later, both of my guys that were working that afternoon were coming into play. And I asked them, I said, this is what I'm hearing. Did you experience any of that? And they said, we didn't hit anybody. We didn't push anybody to the ground. And so I said, okay. So a couple hours later, he comes up to the window and
The
tells me
player?
who he is, the player. And I said, here's the form. And I explained to him, I said, are you okay? And I said, what is the problem? And he says, well, I kind of landed on my elbow. I said, can you move it? Is it good range of motion? So he showed me that he had full range of motion with it. That's neither here nor there, obviously. And so I said, I'm not making a comment. I'm just telling you that my two guys, I spoke with them, and they have no recollection. I said, when that happened, did you call out to them? Did you say, hey, look, hey, you knocked me down? No, I didn't. And so, okay. So anyway, so I told him, I said, fill out the form. And he said, well, I'm out at the base, so I kind of feel uncomfortable with this. I'm going to have somebody from legal look at it. And I said, well, the town knows those people at the base. I mean, they all know each other. So you can have them, freely talk to the town's, the town legal department, or I guess is the town clerk that actually handles that initially. And he says, well, I was injured at the base a couple years ago, and my back was injured, so I know how this stuff works out. So I said, okay. So anyway,
He's the Navy guy.
The Navy guy. Yeah, our customer. And so I when Eric and Mark and I met, I told them about it, and we expected to hear from him within a couple of weeks. We hadn't. I think the incident happened on May 24th, Mark, I think. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't
Yep.
remember the date.
We hadn't heard until just 3 weeks ago from the lawyer. So it's a very curious thing.
When did the incident happen?
Brad, I think the day is May 24. It's a Sunday.
Oh, wow.
It was a Sunday. And I heard from him on the Monday. The interactions that I described to you happened on the following Monday.
Yep.
But just really.
May I interrupt, please?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just that if this is going to be a legal matter, it should probably not be discussed in a whole lot of detail at this point.
Agreed.
If it's going to be, if it could possibly be a court case or something like that, we want to be careful that
Well,
you're speaking.
no, this narrative was provided to HR, which was then advanced to the town's legal department. So, I mean,
I understand that, but even still, I would caution I would caution discussing
Discussion.
these things further at this point. Just because we are uncertain what will come of this.
Sure.
And I apologize for speaking out of turn, but I think it would be wise to discontinue much more detail at this point. But I will yield to Mr. Berry and Chairperson Hirsch.
No, I completely agree. I think at this point, we've probably said enough about this particular incident and should move forward with something else.
Yes. And I would agree as well. Especially since it's a public recording. Okay, so thank you for bringing that forward. Any other citizens petitions?
Brad,
Yeah.
you might want to mention the benefit that was put on by the club and the men's and ladies club for one of our former
Right.
members and club champions that is having some difficulty.
Sure, I'd be happy to speak to that, and that's actually a nice turn into something a little more positive. So, Craig Lambert, for those of you that do not know him, he was a long-standing member of the Shenecosset Men's Club. His wife, Roxanne, was a bartender at Par 4 in the late 90s, early 2000s, and Craig won the club championship, I think, in 2015 or 16 against Steve Chevalier. And 1 year later, he could barely, I remembered helping him buckle his pants on the golf course because he was losing his motor skills. So Craig has a neurodegenerative disease, and they don't know exactly what it is, but it is definitely aggressively neurodegenerative, and he and his wife, Roxanne, who have moved to Florida, have been struggling to make ends meet. And so a committee was formed between myself, Steve Chevalier, who's multiple club champion,
Rich.
Tony Christine, one of the owners of the Par 4, Rich Strictly, our tournament chairperson, Jessica, former club champion, and I think she's an officer in the women's club, if I'm not mistaken. Margaret?
Nope, but we're working on it.
Okay. Yeah, right. Caitlin and Megan, who have been wait staff at the Par 4 for a long time and definitely know Craig and Lambert. So Craig Lambert and Roxanne. So they're very close to us. People that have been there a while, like myself, Todd, Eric, Margaret, know that we're like a family there, and we take care of each other. And so we had an idea to put on a benefit tournament, and we're thinking of continuing this. So we called it a champions tournament, and Craig is a former champion. We're not limiting these benefits to just former club champions, but anybody from the club or former members that are, facing real life struggles and times of need. And so we put on a benefit tournament that we had the weekend before last. I believe it was the Saturday before last. And we got donations from local businesses, both in the forms of prizes and gift certificates and monetary. And we Todd helped us out with coordinating that and the tee times and everything. And it turned out to be an incredible success for something that we planned a week and a half in advance. After all was said and done and paid for expenses, we raised $10,500 for Craig and Roxanne, which was delivered to them today via FedEx. And we delivered a video along with that. So we had like a life-size picture of Craig blown up that Megan and Caitlin had on the ninth green, and every group, every foursome that came through got their picture taken with Craig and little video messages sent to him. So it was great. So thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah, it was a very nice event. And I think hopefully it can be put to good use.
Yeah, sorry if I was a little long-winded there, but I was pretty passionate about the event, and I'm just thrilled with the success.
Thank you. Any additional communication from board members?
Yeah. Margaret?
Yep.
I'd like to comment on the left-hand side of the Fifth Fairway. It was such a surprise a couple of weeks ago to walk down the fairway and see that amazing array of pinks and whites. And it's, I guess, at Eric's pollination garden. What a joy to see. It brought back memories. Now, I've been around a while at Shinnecock, of a time when there was a gardener that came on board in the late spring and worked all summer. There were flowers all over the place. Well, I guess she retired and she was never replaced. Is there any possibility of having somebody come back and putting flowers in other places on the golf course the way they used to? Like they used to be around the 12th tee box had flowers. The left-hand side of number 17 before the wall had flowers. There were various places on the golf course. Any possibility of that happening again, Eric?
Probably not as far as hiring somebody. I mean, we could always do stuff in-house. But to have a full-time or a seasonal person solely focused on flowers, I just don't see that happening.
I know for the longest time it was kept in the budget, though. I guess it's out now, huh?
Yeah, once Gretchen retired, we didn't fill the position, with the way budgets were starting to go, and choosing that versus having another seasonal groundskeeper to work on the golf course.
Okay, thank you. But I hope you put in some more pollination gardens.
This is Brad.
We'll
I'd like
try to find places to put some more wildflowers.
This is Brad. I'd like to add to that. I've gotten all kinds of great feedback in the men's club about it as well. That those two areas to the left of 5 and the left of 16, the Operation Pollinator areas, they're absolutely beautiful. I mean, me and Chris have taken pictures of ourselves inside those patches. It's stunning. I mean, if you could actually spread that around without having to hire additional staff, I think it would be fantastic. Everybody loves it.
That was good. Mayor Granatowski. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you. I just wanted to extend my thanks to Mr. Morrison for inviting me to do a review for the Audubon recertification program, and to thank him for the tour of the course. I saw those areas that Ms. Lathrop was speaking of, and they are indeed quite lovely. And one of the other benefits, if you will, was I got to see the physical plant. And I got to see inside the building where the machinery is kept, and I got to see the condition of it. So thank you for that. And I was also very much interested in the environmental aspect where the chemical mixing takes place and the fuel is kept. So that was quite interesting, and to see the care that is taken with that was heartening. So thank you, Mr. Morrison, and I apologize for the I'm a Mac in a Windows world, and I created the document on my MacBook, and everyone in a Windows world was having trouble opening it, but the guy at the Audubon Society said he could see it. So we should be all set. But it was a nice experience, and thank you again for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks for helping out. That was really good, and I'm glad the guy was able to open it because I couldn't open it.
I get that all the time from the manager.
Well, okay. Well, thank you guys, everybody, for the feedback and the comments. I second, third, and fourth the loveliness of the pollinator gardens and just in general the condition of the course this year. I think has been very, very good.
Fantastic.
Okay. Any additional comments from board members? If not, we'll move on to the golf course report for October.
I assume that that you all have had an opportunity to review that. We had another great month, and you know, almost 119 compared to last year October 70 is tremendous. It's really, you know, it speaks to the fact that with our COVID bump,
Yep.
and with the fact that the golf course is in fantastic shape as it is, we have not discounted. We're charging in October up until now anyway, now beginning November, the same as we've been charging in July. So that's a, you know, that's a problem that we love to have, and it reflects obviously in our revenue that we've been able to generate. And you can see down fiscal year to date, 562,000 compared to last year, which was a banner year, obviously, 485, 486 round up. So, any questions? Oh, and I'll point out, look at the season passes. We've sold 23 season passes. We've sold in October 7 season passes in October. That doesn't happen. But since we all have decided to allow kind of a revolving membership sign up, to where if somebody signs up, they don't have just till the end of the year, which is obviously it dates our membership and is you know, discourages people from joining a little bit later in the season. You know, in the area, you know, in the time of computer, we can easily sign up somebody, and we can tell them, you have 1 year from today, and that's a sell. And so that's a major plus for our member sales. Last year we had 270 members sign up. We have another 23 in the balance of this season. So 293, that's crazy good.
So that raises 2 questions for me, which, so I think this is all really good. Just one curiosity question, and that is, if you haven't started discounting, our average revenue per round seems to have gone down a little bit. I don't know if that's a factor of the calculation or that's
Well, that's a revolving calculation. It doesn't speak to what the month says. It's just like we talked about before, Margaret.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of rounds divided by the revenue sources. So there's lag there
Okay.
So,
Plus, if you've got more rounds played, then the average cost per round goes down.
Well, I mean, so clearly a piece of that is the season pass rounds
Right.
on way up. So, I mean, I'm saying I just want to understand it. That's the reason I
no,
asked.
that's right. No, that's exactly right. You put the finger on it.
Mhm. And the other interesting statistic that may be useful to have going forward is the number of current. So obviously we started this in the spring of this year, but so when we get around to the spring, it'll be more meaningful. But to have a kind of a running count of the current member count.
Well, what I
over-
just spoke to, I mean, that is a running current.
No. But right now, so we didn't start this kind of you can register whenever until really in March, February, March. So until we get around to February, March, it's
Well, it's going to pick up on the fiscal year.
right. So exactly, but still to get around to that time when people's will start to expire, to have just a sense of the number of month over month, the number of current members, so we can see are we dropping, are we trending, are we losing members that are not renewing, are we gaining new members, that type of thing. Right now, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It'll make more sense in the spring because that's when the policy went in place. But I was just looking at it thinking that this might be it, or that might be interesting.
Yes. Yes, we'll look at that. But I mean, the fiscal year to date figure should be a consistent thing. Yeah. So yeah, we'll totally look at that.
Yeah, so last year, this time, we didn't have this policy where you signed up and you got 12 months. Last year, you signed up and you got through March.
Correct.
So it's comparing apples and oranges right now, but still 23 is a phenomenal number. But yeah, so next year is when it's really gonna be interesting.
Yes. Yeah, we'll totally look at that.
Yeah. Any other questions on the report, or any questions on the report? Mayor
I
Groton?
do
I'll
again.
just comment. I just wanted to make a comment that it's a pretty phenomenal year. I'm looking at the numbers and, the monthly revenue up 70% from the prior year. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
But-
Okay,
Okay, that's all I had to say.
that's good. Mayor Granatowski.
I just had a question about tracking the revolving, I don't know if that's what you were calling it, the revolving membership. Is it more difficult to do kind of the paper trail of tracking those memberships that are year round? And if it's not, is there any reason to go back to selling the memberships the other way if you're seeing kind of this bump, or are we going to wait till spring to find out if it holds, as Margaret was saying? Is there any downside to what's going on now and keeping it the way the way you're doing it now is what I'm asking pretty much.
I think there would be a downside to try to revert back to a seasonal membership. I think that it's obvious by the numbers that going to the, hey, you pay your money, you get 1 year. No matter what time you pay for that. I think that the bump up is testament to the good idea. But no, the computer system, we put in the expiration date when somebody signs up. And so a computer report will generate a list of the members and their expiration dates. So I don't foresee a problem. I only see an upside as far as the numbers go. I mean, it's undeniable. Last year we had 210 members, and we have 200 and almost 300 members. So we can keep track, clerically, of the members and when their expirations are. Yeah, I mean, I'll report back if there is a problem that comes up, but I think it's tremendous. I think that, I think that our competition is looking at what we're doing and saying, why aren't we doing that? Honestly.
Thank you.
Before we go any further, did we lose Cindy?
Whoops, wait a minute. There's 2 attendees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we lost
Cindy. Okay,
Brad.
let's see. I've promoted her back to panelist. So.
Brad, possibly?
I'm here.
Okay.
Nope, Brad is still showing up.
Just kind of going in and out of my view. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, no, so thank you very much for the October report. What about next on the agenda is the marketing report?
So I'm sure that you've all seen the post on the Shinnecock Facebook page that Links Magazine
Mhm.
did an article on American Dream courses. The Links Magazine has a circulation of about 200,000 people. They split it out between East Coast and West Coast, and I think about 135,000 are identified as East Coast, and they have just shy of 11,000 Facebook followers. So they do both a digital format and a print format. I believe this particular magazine or this particular issue was digital only. So that's just one more example of the recognition that Senecaucet's received through various magazines to the fact that it's an outstanding course and a great value.
Mark, what magazine was that again?
It was Links Magazine.
Thank you.
And our page followers at Shinnecock continue to climb ever so slowly. We're, as of the other day, we're 1,225. I think we picked up 12 to 15 new followers. So
That's excellent. We're getting close to 1,500,
yes, we are.
which is excellent. Okay. No, thank you very much. And did I see an aerial shot of where did I see the aerial shot of the course? On the Facebook page, or was that something you shared, Eric? I saw that.
Yeah. It might have
Which
been
picture?
There was an aerial picture. It looked like it was from kind of where the forward tee boxes are on the 10th hole or over the 18th hole, looking towards the 10th green. You can see the 13th green, 11th tee boxes.
I don't know which one you're talking about, but because we had the library took some drone footage, and then some other people have taken their own, so I don't know which one it is.
I'll have to go back and figure out where I saw that. Nice picture.
Margaret, I do have one other marketing related item.
Okay, please.
So Jessica is working with the library, and they're trying to follow up on what I think was discussed at the last meeting. And that's the idea of promoting the concepts that golf is a lifelong sport.
Mhm.
And it's intergenerational, and they are trying to line up a diverse group of people to participate in a really short video that they're trying to do. They're shooting for either Thursday or Friday. They're having a hard time getting a diversity of people. Everyone, I guess, apparently looks like me. I'm old and white, and they're trying to get females and people of color to participate in this video. So if anybody can assist with reaching out to people that they know that may be able to spend half an hour helping us put this video, it would be greatly appreciated.
Is there an age demographic you're targeting?
Well, I think they're looking for, somebody 20 something all the way up to somebody even as old as me.
You're
older.
young by most people. So.
Yeah.
Mark, this is Brad. Is there a deadline for doing this? You mentioned, I heard Thursday.
Well, Thursday or Friday, yes. They would like to try to get the shots in. They feel like if they wait too much longer, we're going to lose all the green and not have the color that they're looking for. So they would like to try to get it wrapped up by this Friday.
Okay.
I think I can help on this front, but I don't know that I can get it done by the end of the week, during the week, especially since the people that I have in mind for this do work during the week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any flexibility on that?
I can talk to
I could
Jessica.
definitely help with it.
Yeah, I'll talk to Jessica and see if there's a possibility that they could arrange to do it on a Saturday. But we'd also have to work out with Todd not interrupting, play as they're trying to do this.
Sure.
Well, Saturday is jam-packed, and I don't expect that would cause any major disruption. I mean, I could give I could give Jessica and her helper or whomever a cart, and yeah, there is quite a bit of diversity at Shannecossett, and on Saturday, I think you could get some good footage.
Okay.
Talk to people. And the other thing I was thinking about is on the women's side, one of the early championship matches this year featured two players who had a 50-year gap in their ages.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And that might be kind of interesting.
Yes.
All right. I'll see what we can do about trying to line up something for the weekend.
Okay.
Cindy needs to be moved over again. She's in attendees.
So is
Oh, okay. I don't know what she's doing to. Thank you for. Okay, there she is again.
okay. But I can send you that information or the names, and then I think to Todd's point, a fair number of people on Saturdays, Fridays during the week.
Okay.
My group alone. I mean.
Yep.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. Any unfinished business from last month? Next item on the agenda. Okay. So I think what we just discussed could be considered unfinished business as well.
Yes, actually, you're right.
So next topic on the agenda, the fiscal year end 2022 CIP and operating budget.
Yes. So I just wanted to kind of go over the CIP schedule for for FYE 2022, which would start next July 1st. So all of the department heads have been asked to submit critical only projects
Okay.
due to the current financial uncertainty. So the projects that we have that were scheduled to take place in 2022 have been pushed out to 2023.
Okay.
So all of those projects will just move back a year. This is projects that were to take place on the course.
Mm-hmm. Do
I
you
have,
happen to have those handy? Just,
you know what, I just realized that I printed the same, I thought I had printed both the course projects and the facility projects, but I have printed 2 copies of the facility project. So I can't, yeah, I can't recall. I know we had bundled a number of projects
Yeah.
together. In the past, we had done kind of one set of bunkers or whatnot, but we looked at under the town manager's direction. He said, well, why don't you put together a 5-year plan? So essentially what we did is we took all of the projects, broke them out into 5 years so that they were bundled. And we had proposed that for FYE 21, it got cut from the budget. So we were rolling them back to FYE 22. Now they're being rolled back to FYE 23. And Eric, do you recall which bunkers and tees were part of the first bundle?
The first year, I believe, was doing everything on the other side of the train tracks. 2 green, holes 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
You were going to do all those in the same year?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, redoing all the bunkers and some tee work that needs to be done. But so yeah, the 5-year project basically cut up the course into 5 chunks.
okay.
Yeah, I think we had proposed to do about $400,000 worth of work. So I'm sorry, I can't give you the rest of the details on that. Like I said, I printed the wrong sheet twice, or the correct sheet, the wrong one twice. The work to take place on the buildings
Mhm.
falls under Public Works. And at this point, I'm not sure which projects they are looking at as critical for the golf course building. I can tell you I can tell you some of the other projects that have been scheduled, but I don't know which fiscal year they'll fall under. I know there was money approved this year for design and construction for upgrades to the HVA system in the restaurant area. And I received an email from one of the town engineers today that she had been assigned to that project. So I know that project is now underway. Additional projects that are planned, I'm just not sure when they're scheduled for, is design and construction for renovations to the restroom facilities to make them ADA, or make them accessible and ADA compliant. There's also asbestos encapsulation of the crawl space underneath the restaurant. There are some pipes that are insulated with asbestos, and that needs to be mitigated. Landscape planning around the front of the building, repainting the golf cart building, repainting the clubhouse, and replacing the exterior red rubber deck tiles. So like I said, those are all projects that are planned, but I'm not sure the exact schedule.
Okay.
What did you need from, I just tried to open the budget book for the CIP. Was there something in particular you needed to know?
Well, if you went to,
I have CIP 4C in front of me, golf course improvement plan.
oh, that sounds like it. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was broken out over 5 years, and I think
Right.
Eric identified the first year, and
So
I don't know,
FYE 21, 200,000 for 4, 5, and a portion of 6. 22 would have been 215,000 for 3 and 5. 23 would have been 400,000 for 5, 6, 7. 24, 390 for 2, 8, and 1. 25, 400 for 12 through 17, portion of 18. And 26, 414 for 9, 10, 11, and 18. I don't know if you want me to, I don't know if I can. Hold on.
Sure.
No, I can't share. Okay, never mind. I was going to try to share. Can't share. I can send
Okay.
you the link if you want the link, but
no, I think that was great. Thank you for that detail. So that's the plan for renovations at the golf course going forward. I just can't say exactly what the timeline is
Okay.
at this point.
Just
So that's the CIP. As far as the operating budget, I talked to Eric briefly last week, and we're really not anticipating any substantial changes to the operating budget.
okay. So with this revenue from this year, the surplus is going, we backfilling that fund, that kind of emergency fund type
Yes,
thing? Is that what most of it's going for?
yes. We potentially could move some of that money into the fund balance for the equipment, because we have done a spreadsheet where we look at the equipment, and looking out about 3 or 4 years from now, the fund balance will be at a deficit based on what we're projecting for replacement of equipment at this particular time. Now that, you know, that flexes some as we get to a point where we thought that a piece of equipment was going to need to be replaced. You know, we've been able to eke out another year or two. So, but we are looking at a deficit in, I think, 3 or 4 years from now. So we could potentially put some of that money towards fund balance for the equipment. We do budget a certain amount every year to put towards the fund balance, but we may need to start putting some more money in to stay ahead.
Okay.
And we know how quickly, you know, a terrible spring, we can lose $150,000 like that. So, you know, while we may have a larger fund balance than we've had over the last few years, it can disappear quite quickly. We've been very fortunate with the weather and also the bump that we've seen from the pandemic.
No. So that's all good news. Is the schedule this year pretty much the same as it was last year in terms of proposing, reviewing, and approving the budgets?
I believe so. I don't know, the mayor may be able to speak to that. I mean, there are certain dates that are in the charter that we have to have information to the town manager by, and information has to be presented to the council and things like that. So I'm not aware of any changes to the schedule at this point.
Okay. Any questions on what has been presented? So, hearing none, any other topics before we adjourn? Okay. So I believe the next meeting date is December
7th.
7th. Yep.
Day that will live in infamy.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So hearing no other items, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second. Do we lose Cindy again? I'll second it.
No, she's still here. She's on mute.
I'll second it.
There we go.
In favor? Aye. Thank you very much all for a good meeting. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Good
Good night.
night. Good night.